My angels, it's Hailey Reese, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am truly so grateful that you are here, and I do hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. Today we're diving into an experience that was shared with me that is absolutely bone-chilling and what nightmares are made of. This is one that truly hits home for me and my family, given an experience that we had a couple of years ago that I'd shared with you guys, and really serves as a reminder of not always chalking everything up to paranormal or supernatural, because sometimes there truly is a danger behind these unexplained experiences, and your safety may very well be in jeopardy. Today we're exploring an experience that shares exactly that, the reason that it's so important to be attentive, to really pay attention to things in your home and in your surroundings or in any environment you find yourself within. This experience is one that is truly what nightmares are made of, and I cannot wait to hear what you think of this experience and hopefully have you keep it in the back of your mind going forward. Before we get into today's video though, I am so excited to take a moment and thank today's video sponsor, Hailey. You guys know, if you've been here on my channel, that we had quite a rough start to the beginning of our year, and we got hit with the flu for what seemed like weeks on end. And Hailey has been my absolute saving grace throughout all of it. So Hailey is free to download on iOS and Android devices and is your farming lifestyle simulator where you can grow your own farm utopia. While the real world can be filled with countless unsolvable problems, in Hailey, the weather is always perfect, the crops are always in season, and there are always fun tasks to complete. All while you get to build and customize the farm of your dreams. I absolutely love that while you're able to experience relaxing gameplay, you also get to completely personalize your own farm, take care of adorable animals, and create and sell home goods. You also get to be a part of a really friendly community where you're able to trade, share tips, and compete in weekly events with your neighbors, which is so much fun. My mom actually lives on a farm and has chickens and horses and all that amazing stuff. So this has just taken my love for farming to a whole new level, and I have been having so much fun with Hailey. I am so excited to let you know that from now until February 15th, when you click the link down in my description box or scan my QR code to download Hailey, you will receive 16 decos to personalize your farm that are valued at $15.99. Once you've used my link or my QR code that's available on screen or in my description, you just click the same link once again once the game is downloaded to claim your reward. Then it will automatically appear once you've downloaded the game, and all you have to do is click claim. I really have been loving personalizing my farm with really cool decor and also beautiful flowers. So I personally really love the blue hydrangeas and the red lilies and the picnic, but there really are so many possibilities for you and your farm to explore and customize to your taste. So make sure to go ahead and click the link down in my description or scan my personal QR code to download Hailey today and receive your reward. And thank you so much to Hailey for the endless fun and for sponsoring today's video. I absolutely love you. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into today's video. So a couple of years ago here on my channel, we had sat down and discussed things that were happening actually at my mom's farm that were really, really bizarre. There were things disappearing in the house and strange noises being heard and the dogs behaving in really weird ways. And it kind of got us into exploring the concept of frogging and froggers more specifically. Similarly to how frogs jump from one lily pad to another, typically froggers, or people who are participating in frogging, jump from one house to another and basically live undetected in your home. This has been a problem for many people all across the world. Now, typically, froggers are harmless. They just want a place to live, a place that they can get some food, and they'll move on and leave you unharmed. But there have been cases reported of frogging that got a lot darker and a lot more scary. Now, we have absolutely no idea as to whether or not my mom had any sort of froggers in her house or if it was all some sort of a coincidence. But what I will say is that when they decided to get more protective measures for their home, specifically a big guard dog, all of those experiences completely stopped and left us pretty freaked out at the concept that that could have even been a thing. Now, with that being said, I do want to say my mom lives in the country. It takes a hot minute to get up her driveway and towards her house. So the idea of a frogger going undetected really didn't make much sense. But again, there were so many strange things that were happening that it seemed as though something must have been going on. So when I read this particular experience, it absolutely gave me goosebumps. And I need to share it with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into this horrifying encounter. So this is actually titled, "We Thought It Was a Ghost Until We Saw the Cameras," and it goes as follows. Okay, this is probably going to sound insane, but I've been dealing with something seriously creepy for the past few months, and I need to tell someone about it. I'm hoping that this page will understand because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay, so to start, a little background. My wife Emma and I live in an old house in a quiet suburban neighborhood. It's not a mansion, but it is spacious and was built in the 1960s. We bought it about 5 years ago and things were fine at first, but then about 6 months ago, we started noticing weird stuff. It started off small, lights flickering, items moving slightly out of place. At first, we thought we were just tired, or maybe the kids, 2 and 4 years old, were messing with things when we weren't looking. But the incidents started becoming harder to explain. I'm not talking about things being slightly out of place. I mean full-on creepy stuff. So let me get into the first incident. It was around 3 a.m. one night, and Emma woke up to a soft noise coming from the kitchen. She went to check it out and said the kitchen light was on, which we never leave on at night, and the fridge door was wide open. She could swear she heard someone walking around inside, but when she checked, the kitchen was empty. We thought it was the kids, but they were still asleep in their beds. Still, maybe one of them had sleepwalked, so we still didn't think too much of it. But then we get into the second incident. A couple of weeks later, I was at work late and Emma called me freaking out. She said she'd been sitting in the living room when she noticed something moving in the hallway out of the corner of her eye. When she looked, she said she saw a tall, shadowy figure standing there for a moment before it disappeared around the corner. I rushed home and we checked the whole house, but nothing. No sign of anyone. I felt bad because I didn't want to just dismiss her, but honestly, I thought she was probably just really tired. But then came the third incident, and this one changed everything. One night, I was sitting in the living room watching TV while Emma was upstairs putting the kids to bed. I heard footsteps coming from the kitchen. I figured maybe Emma was getting a late night snack, but when I called out, she didn't answer. So I got up to check and found the kitchen empty. Here's the strangest part. The kitchen was completely clean, but there was a tall glass of water sitting on the counter. I swear that I hadn't left it there, and Emma confirmed that she hadn't even been in the kitchen for hours. So now at this point, Emma and I are both pretty freaked out. I convinced her that we need to talk to like a paranormal investigator or something. I didn't even believe in ghosts, but the way things were happening, it seemed too real to dismiss. But after a particularly terrifying night where Emma swore she heard someone whispering her name in the dark, we decided we needed to get some cameras. Nothing too fancy, just motion detectors and a couple of night vision cams. We wanted to see if we could catch something on film, anything that would explain all the strange happenings. We installed the cameras and set them up around the house, one in the kitchen, one in the hallway near the kids' room, and one in the living room. We were hoping to capture something or anything that might give us an explanation. The first few nights, though, nothing happened. We woke up every morning, checked the footage, and found it to be completely normal. No weird shadows, no strange sounds. But then we started noticing something. It was on the 10th night of filming when I noticed the first odd thing. The motion camera in the hallway captured something I couldn't explain. At 2:15 a.m., there was a shadow figure walking down the hallway. I assumed it was just a glitch at first, maybe a bug flying past the camera. But then I saw it. The figure wasn't just some ghostly silhouette. It was a person, a real man, dressed in black and moving quietly down our hall. But his movements were jerky and almost unnatural. He wasn't walking like a normal person. He was deliberately avoiding stepping on creaky spots in the floor. He moved with an eerie sort of precision. I froze. I went back to the footage. This wasn't a glitch. This was real. We watched the entire clip. The man walked up to the kids' doors and just stood there for a moment, but then turned and walked back down the hall. When I looked closer, there was something even more disturbing. The door to the kids' room was slightly ajar, leading me to believe he'd been inside. We were both absolutely horrified. How had he gotten in? We had security on all the doors. And that's when Emma remembered something. A while back, there had been a delivery guy who'd come to the door, and we'd never checked to confirm his ID. He just dropped a package on the porch and left. But the weird thing was, Emma said he gave her a really bad feeling. His eyes never really met hers, and he seemed to be moving in an odd, almost robotic way. I kept digging through the footage, and I started noticing more details. The man was always there, lurking in the background. The strange sounds, the shadowy figure, all of it made sense now. He was in our house the entire time, watching us. The final most disturbing thing we discovered was a video from one of the cameras we'd set up in the living room. It was late one night, and you can clearly see the man standing in the corner of the room, staring at us as we sat on the couch unaware. He stayed there for nearly an hour before quietly walking through the back door. We called the police immediately, and they found that the man had been living in the crawl space of our attic for who knows how long. He'd been coming down at night while we were asleep. There were signs of him taking food from the kitchen and even a stash of personal items from the family who lived here before us. Apparently, the man had been squatting in abandoned houses for years. He was a drifter, someone with a serious criminal record, though, and a history of stalking. He had a twisted obsession with watching families. It turns out that he wasn't just looking for food or shelter. It seemed in a way he wanted to actually be us. I don't even know how he got in, but it seems that he'd been doing this for months. I'm just relieved we caught it on camera before anything worse happened. Even the police said we were lucky. The worst part is, now I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched forever. Sometimes I swear I hear footsteps in the hall late at night, but when I check, there's no one there. Basically, our safe space no longer feels safe, and I don't know if I'll ever feel safe in this house again. And that's the experience. This individual even went on to explain that had they not have gotten the cameras and had Emma not have heard someone calling her name, they likely would have continued to believe that this was just some sort of supernatural or paranormal activity. And it serves as such a reminder that while those things are very real as well and hauntings do occur on the daily, not everything in your home is actually paranormal. It could be something a lot more sinister. I have said this a million times here on my channel, but wholeheartedly, nothing scares me more on planet Earth than what some human beings are capable of. I actually fear what some humans are capable of more than I do any ghost. And that's just my true crime background, to be fair. But it really is an eerie thought to imagine being watched in your own home and having no idea that someone's in your space. Like, what an invasion of your own sanctuary. Like, it is so freaking creepy. I found it interesting that they still remained living in the home. I mean, I can understand it. You wouldn't necessarily want to move, but for me, I don't think I would ever feel secure in my home again. Even with everything that went on with my mom, I was constantly telling her, like, how are you not more terrified? Like, when drinks are going down in the kitchen and food is disappearing and the dogs are being weird and noises are being heard, I mean, that was where I started to think this can't really be paranormal if physical things are genuinely disappearing to that capacity. Nonetheless, this has happened very shortly after my mom and Jeremy had just moved into their home. And so with that being said, it could have just been a new home, new sounds, strange things happening, the dogs adjusting, all of that. But hearing stories like these and diving deeper into cases of frogging or particularly home invasions really doesn't sit right with me. Again, I do want to know before concluding this video, though, that a lot of froggers are genuinely harmless. They just want a place to stay, a safe place to be. But I have seen some footage of froggers climbing out of people's attics, coming out of like their crawl spaces, and it is absolutely terrifying. Not to mention the ones I saw where they were literally drinking out of their milk and stuff. Like, what an invasion of your space. Regardless, I knew I had to share this with you guys because so many of you share that same unsettling fear of what others could be doing and where their intentions lie. But I want to know from you, what do you think of this experience? I will say this. It makes me feel a hell of a lot better living in a condo and just knowing that I'm in my own safe, security protected space. When I used to read these types of experiences and we were living in that big house, just the two of us, I would honestly stay up at night like worried about these types of things and constantly making sure that our security system was up and running because that house was haunted in and of itself and could sometimes give the illusion of someone else being in the home. But with all of that being said, that is the experience I wanted to share with you today. Do you think that you'd be able to continue living in your home if someone had been living in there with you for months, relatively undetected? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below. And that is it for today's video. Once again, I would just like to take a moment and thank Hailey for sponsoring this video and remind you that when you use my link down below or scan my QR code to download Hailey, you will receive 16 decos to personalize your farm. Believe me when I say this game is truly so much fun. And beyond that, I find it just to be really, really relaxing. The past couple of weeks have been super hard on me with going on and off of being sick and having to rest when I so badly wanted to be able to keep moving and start the new year off strong. And this has really, really helped to calm me, to center me, and to have some fun when the new year started off a little bit rough for me. So I really do think that you guys are going to love Hailey just as much as I do. And make sure to go ahead and download it using my link or QR code before February 15th. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, it would mean more to me than you would ever know if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness and stay safe out there. Until next time, I love you. Bye, guys.